Welcome back to the Unshakable Soul podcast. My name is Sophia Wood Massicotte and I'm your host here. And we will be discussing today for episode 84 on the alchemy of your desire. Ooh, juicy thematic. I'm really excited for this one. And I want to start by just offering us this moment of contemplation. How often have you felt this pull inside of you towards a life that feels almost too big, too beautiful, too impossible to grasp? A life that lights you up, but also scares you shitless. That, my friend, is desire speaking. And today, we're going to dive deeper into this thematic and really shine a light on desire itself, what it actually is, and how it's been shamed in a lot of us for many, many years. And we're going to slowly reclaim it. And we're going to reclaim desire not as a distraction, not as something to manage or try to explain in words, but as one of the most intelligent forces that you possess as a woman. So what can you expect from this conversation? We're going to dive into a couple subtopics related to your desires so that we can really look at this through all the angles. So I'm going to start with sharing, how women have been taught to dismiss, disconnect, and distrust their desires. Then we'll go into the differences between desire society placed on you and your soul-rooted desire. And I'll share the importance of your desire as sacred intelligence that nurtures your vitality, your authenticity, and your radiance, which encompasses your feminine power, your magnetism, your ability to attract that which you desire, whatever that is for you. And then I always love to end with very simple daily tools and practices to start stepping into the frequency of what you want before the world catches up, before you even see it in 3D reality. This is the feminine path of manifestation, or as I like to see it, embodiment. You're living as that frequency. You are that creative energy. And that starts with the seed of your desire. And this conversation opens a beautiful doorway into my 8-week seasonal initiation, Rhythms of Remembrance. And the spring portal is themed the alchemy of desire. And this is where we'll get to work in sisterhood, in a community together through the energy of the spring season into the alchemical energy of your raw desire. And nurture that energy and channel it into the world so that you can start living from a place of authenticity, of wholeness, and of deep fulfillment that no external entity can actually give you. You become a healing force for all that come into contact with your energy, with your presence. Whew. I like to coin this embodied feminine leadership, and this is rising more and more in our world. And I believe it's needed more and more in our world. And it starts with your deepest, most authentic desire. All right. So grab some tea, grab your coffee, enjoy. Maybe you're multitasking, maybe you're cooking or driving, and that's cool too. Just make sure you are safe in your environment. Maybe you're taking notes, whatever resonates for you. So I want to start with how women have learned to dismiss and distrust their desire. And this has happened not only in your lifetime, but perhaps in your lineage, in generations of suppressed feminine power, of cloaking, of hiding. See, many women have this wound within us, the witch wound, the fear of being seen, of being visible. We were shamed for our witchiness, for our wildness, for our wiseness. We were taught that that was not safe to be in that much power. And apart from lineage, maybe it was closer to this lifetime that you're living, in your upbringing, in your schooling system or your family system, and you were taught in some subtle or non-subtle way that your desire is irresponsible, selfish, shameful, impractical, too much. So slowly you disconnected from it. You hid it away. And instead, perhaps you learn to prioritize productivity over pleasure, right? Expectations over your truth, what is reasonable over what is deeply felt. You prioritized what others will approve of you over what your body is actually calling you towards. And this doesn't all happen at once usually. It happens slowly in small amounts, but it builds up. Okay, so these could be moments where you quiet the desire to move somewhere new because it doesn't make sense to your logical mind. And many women have been taught to push up their energy to their minds and just use their mind and operate from their mind, completely severing them from their desire, which is rooted in their womb, in their lower energy centers, in their primal energy center. Maybe it was a moment when you settled into a relationship that looked good on paper, they checked all the boxes, but doesn't fully meet you where you want it to meet you. Maybe you abandoned a creative pull because it didn't feel realistic, or somebody told you that how the fuck are you going to make money being an artist, a painter, a writer, whatever. Maybe you downplay your desire for wealth, intimate connection, or any creative expression because it feels too much. This is a belief many women have. I'm too much. And over time, this creates a pattern of self-abandonment. And here's the truth underneath it all. Your desire threatens the system that depends on women staying small, predictable and easy to manipulate. Because a woman connected to her authentic desire becomes hard to control. She becomes more self-led. She becomes more rooted in her innate worth. She's no longer seeking for external validation. She's no longer comparing herself to other women or other people that are quote unquote more successful or have it all. She realizes she has it all herself. Everything is within her. She births anything into reality. She's more willing to choose differently. She's not afraid anymore of what people will think. She's more unfuckwithable. So, the woman that owns her desires is a very powerful woman. And this is what we're seeing more and more now. This rise of feminine reclamation is actually a descent back into your energy centers that are held in your seat, in your womb, in your root, in your navel, your solar plexus, all the places where we store shame, fear, and guilt, where we've learned to suppress that and to move that energy up to our minds and just operate from our mind. But then we're so chaotic and overwhelmed, and we compare and we have illusions of what life should be like, of who we should be, how we should live. Our perception is blurred because our power does not lie solely in the mind. Of course, our insight, when it's clear and pure, is a very powerful center. But the seat and the seed of any manifestation for a woman is down here. And your desire doesn't disappear, it just goes underground. So we become numb, or we become restless. We try and fill ourselves up with things, but there's always this void within us that we cannot fill with any relationship, with any material gain, with any amount of money in our bank account. And it's up to us to be responsible and go within ourselves and have that courage to see what has been repressed. Okay, so how does this show up, this underground desire? Quiet dissatisfaction, a feeling that something's missing. Again, this restlessness or a numbing, a sense that you're living a life that maybe looks fine on the outside, but on the inside, you're void of life. There's no juice. It's just mediocre. And this is what's waking up in more and more women. Feel it for yourself. Again, if nothing resonates right now, like deep bow for you, deep reverence for your path. But if anything within you resonates, I invite you to stay and just to feel what is rising for you. That juice. Is your life kind of flat, like meh? And we start realizing when we connect to the cycles and rhythms of nature, when we connect to our own bodies and really actually start feeling, we realize, holy shit, there's a cycle to my creativity. And I'm actually always creating. Even when I'm in silence, even when I'm in stillness, I'm still creating. I realize that my thoughts create my reality, my beliefs, my words are spells. I realize that my body holds a lot of trauma and also a lot of wisdom. And it's up to me to move through this and to navigate this mystery that's ever unfolding within me. And to channel it to create the reality I wish to live in. This is the feminine mystery and the feminine remembrance of her power to create life, to destroy what is not true, and to rebirth herself anew. Okay, so summarize this section. When your desire is left unexpressed, it doesn't go away, it gets buried, and it becomes a subtle current running beneath your life, quietly asking for more. So the question can become here, if we've now learned to distrust our desires as women, how do we begin to recognize, well, what actually is true for me? So this is when I want to bring in a conditioned desire versus a soul-rooted desire. For example, desire society placed on you. Okay, we could see this as inauthentic or desired that is not truly aligned with your soul. These are the shoulds you've absorbed over time. And they often come from comparison, expectation, or fear of not being good enough, not desirable. They feel kind of heavy or hollow once you achieve them. Okay, so examples: pursuing a career, having children, getting married, a certain status, a lifestyle, a relationship. Because perhaps others will approve of you, or you feel a sense of belonging to a social group, or that said relationship, for example, looks good on paper, rather than because it lights up your soul. Okay? And I'm not sharing this for you to look back and look at all the poor decisions you made. Everything is perfect and beautiful in your life. You are made to go through those decisions. Everything is reorienting you back to truth. However, it is your responsibility to be honest with your truth, and then to choose differently if required, to make that soul correction. The soul course correction. A soul-rooted desire is authentic. It's this embodied longing. Hard to put into words, but feel into these for yourself. These desires are felt in the body first, not just in the mind. Sensation, a current moving through you. They persist over time. They call you forward, even if they feel scary or too much. Okay, and the only reason they feel scary is because your nervous system is not used to them. It's not familiar to that level of abundance or whatever. That level of love or connection or intimacy, whatever you truly desire. They energize you. They stretch your nervous system, and they ask you to expand into a new, truer version of yourself. So again, an example of this desire could be the city you dream of living in, the creative work you can't stop thinking about, the depths of love and intimacy your body longs for. So the key difference here is the inauthentic desire often leaves you drained and exhausted, while the soul level desire, it expands you and it ignites your soul flame. And again, the authentic soul desire can scare you, but it is whispering your path forward. It is whispering you on the path of the life you've been waiting on the sidelines to claim. So we're moving here in this journey from waiting for permission to claiming that life, that desire. Okay. So feel for you. Where have you been waiting on the sidelines? And I'm not saying that waiting is bad. When you start working with the rhythms of the cosmos and the seasons here on Earth and your own body's sacred intelligence and this technology right here, this vessel, you start realizing, as I mentioned before, there are seasons and cycles to your creative energy. And there are moments to rest where the seed is being incubated and gestated. There are moments to rise, to be expressed out there. Right? So this is not about go, go, go and like, I gotta act. No. The most important piece of feminine reclamation right now is having the courage to be honest with your truth, with what you actually want. And inevitably, that's going to bring up all the ways that you haven't been living in that. So being very gentle with yourself and compassionate in this process is very important. Okay, I want to move on now to talk about desire as sacred intelligence. Okay, so when we start to notice and start honoring our soul-rooted, authentic desire, something starts shifting in your body. Your desires become less like wishing. They're not wishes. I hope that someday they literally become your roadmap and the fuel that will guide you on your soul's path. They are the sacred intelligence. And this soul's path, this life already exists. And it's asking you to grow into it. This life already exists. I hear you. You may be like, Sophia, what the fuck? This life doesn't exist. I don't have the relationship. I don't have the money. I feel you. I hear you. And this is when it's going to require trust, curiosity, and deep belief in the possibility of your life and of you as a woman incarnated in this body here on earth. Because your desire wants you. Your desire is not random. It is information. Somewhere on the timeline, you are already living that life that you desire. You already have that relationship. You already have that money. You're already in your dream home. Whatever it is that is your authentic desire. Your desire is signaling the life that's trying to meet you. What we have to do is create that space and that capacity to hold it and embody it. And realizing all the ways that we self-sabotage. That's the shadow work piece. That's the alchemy piece. So your desire is the bridge between where you are now and what is possible for you. And you have to believe that's possible for you. That's what I'm saying. This desire is going to stretch you. It's like growing pains when you're growing. I don't know if you remember that. I remember my tibia for some reason, like the growing pain. I was like, oh, this is the same thing. And your job is not to control the how or the when. Remember, this is co-creation with the universe. Your role is to hold the frequency of that which you wish to embody. I'll say it again. Your role is not to control the how and the when. Your role is to hold the frequency, the energy of that which you wish to embody. The frequency of wealth, the frequency of love, the frequency of connection. Whatever it is. And here's the beauty of your desire. When you fully surrender to this desire and allow it to move through your body and guide you through life, you will realize it awakens your vitality. Your creative life force energy comes online. And this is the source of your feminine power. This is your nectar. And this is what inevitably will magnetize the material aspects of this desire. But I want to add a caveat here. Many of our desires are not physical things. They are the feeling from that thing. Let me say that again. Many of your desires are not actually physical things. They are the feeling you get from having that physical thing. And the beauty in that is that you can embody that frequency, that feeling every single day without tangibly having that thing. You're not waiting anymore. Because a lot of the times we'll realize we are waiting on a better day, on having more money, on being skinnier, on whatever. We try and fix and change ourselves because we believe that if we're more desirable in this way, then that thing will come. And I'm not saying that it's bad to take care of your body, of course. But it really comes down to the energy and the intention behind it. Am I coming from fear of not being desirable enough, not good enough? Or is it coming from deep love and belief and self-worth and wholeness? Very different frequency. Same action, let's say taking care of my body, exercising, going out in nature. But one of them is like, I gotta fix myself because I have to contort myself, and then when I'm like this, I can get this. Versus like, I am already worthy. And I'm not waiting on anybody. And I'm gonna offer myself the bath, I'm gonna offer myself the workout, I'm gonna offer myself the day of rest, that beautiful meal. And like, there's ease in it. Just you become that which you desire. And of course, it doesn't mean that, for example, you want a relationship that you're going to be single all your life. But there's a deep sense of non-attachment because you are chosen. You've chosen yourself and you are chosen already by the universe. You are here incarnated in flesh and form for a reason. It's not to be desperately trying to chase after things. No, we relax back into our seat of our feminine power. Into our bodies, reclaiming our energy. So much is drained when we put so much focus out there. What if we started to live from in here? All right. So I want to share a little bit more about desire, creativity, and feminine power. I already shared a bit here, but I want to elaborate a bit more. Your desire and your creativity, they go hand in hand. Okay, so especially for those that kind of feel flat or numb or lacking juice, anchoring into that authentic desire will inevitably fuel your whole body and give you that juice so that you can become that frequency. And that you can take those steps also that are in alignment with your desire. Okay? And when you reconnect with your true desire, your aura shifts. You become this magnet to the right people and the right opportunities for you, and you also repel everything that was not in alignment. So again, caveat here, or just a warning sign, if you really are on this path of authentic living and really following your truth and living in truth and embodiment, know that you will repel certain people and places and energies. And maybe those people are the ones closest to you. And this is arguably the hardest thing on any woman's healing and transformation journey. Her realizing that some people she will have to disengage in, some places she'll have to disengage in, some projects and pursuits she'll have to disengage in. Okay? So again, when a woman is connected to her desire, her vitality emerges naturally. It's a natural byproduct of being soul connected to your desire. Your radiance returns, the spark in your eyes, your luster. You begin to move through life differently. You live in pleasure. And this does not mean you don't feel pain. Of course, there's a space to process and have that shadow work of realizing all the ways that you've kept yourself away from your deepest desire. But ultimately, a woman's power is the alchemy. And that's the alchemy of desire. Everything gets transmuted, the shame, the guilt, the fear, into your heart, into the space of unconditional self-worth and love and acceptance of who you are and what you're here to bring to this world and how you wish to live. This life is yours to claim. And this woman begins to move with life instead of resisting it. You begin to trust your body again. You begin taking the steps in the direction of alignment instead of resisting the natural current life wants to bring you on. And a woman connected to her desire, she doesn't just dream or wish, as I was mentioning. She initiates, she creates, and she chooses from a place of deep alignment, from a place of unshakable self-worth, from a place of wholeness. Her body becomes the compass. Her energy is the magnet. And her desire is the roadmap home. And you may ask, Sophia, where is home? Home is in your body. Home is in your heart. And I'm sharing this as my lived experience. Maybe you have another experience of what home is. Home is this sanctuary where I feel so connected to everything. To life moving within me and moving around me, and I become an expression, an instrument of the divine, of love. I feel for you. What is home for you? So I want to finish, as I mentioned, with some simple daily practices to start activating your desires. Right? So as I mentioned, desires are not something you wait for. It's something you get to activate, cultivate, and meet every single day. This is living in embodied truth. This is feminine embodied leadership. She no longer waits. She's no longer desperately trying to grasp onto things and people and places. She's leaning back. She's taking back her energy. She's discerning where she spends her time and energy. And she creates the intentional space to nurture her desires, to give herself what she needs, and also ask for the support she needs. She creates that hearth, that environment, that sanctuary, that temple space within herself and all around her. She becomes a healing force because she's honoring herself. And this does not require big dramatic changes in your life. I always have to keep this very accessible. It's about the small, consistent moments of devotion that signal to your body, I am available for more, and I am safe to desire this. So there's a nervous system recalibration that happens over the course of this period of reclamation of your desire, where you're becoming more familiar with that feeling. Again, remember, it's the feeling that we actually desire. So here are a few simple ways you can begin. Number 1 is prayer. Speak your desire into existence. Okay, it doesn't have to be formal or have some mala beans. You can if you want, but I like to keep some things super simple. It doesn't have to be perfect. It could be a simple whispering in the first hour of the morning. Part of your meditation practice. First thing you whisper when you open your eyes and you're still in bed. Speak out loud in your car. Speak out loud when you walk. Place a hand on your heart and name what you want. For example, I'm ready to receive and embody connection in my life. I'm ready to receive and embody wealth and prosperity in my life. And this is up to you to really define what that energy is all about. Okay? So let it be honest, let it be bold, let it feel kind of a little uncomfortable. Meet yourself on that edge. Okay? Number 2, crucial piece, the embodiment piece. Feel it before you see it. Okay, your body is the bridge. Okay, it's the bridge with the spiritual to the material, with the formless to the form. It is the conduit, the vessel that holds life and the vessel that creates life. We gotta hold the vision, we hold the desire, we feel the desire, we birth it, we see it materialize. So take a moment each day to breathe into your belly, into your pelvis, into your root. Feel that stability, that anchoring. Soften into your body. Allow that exhale to be long. Allow some sound to vibrate. And you can add the visualization, the life that you desire to live. Maybe you want to ask yourself, what would it feel like to already be living this? And allow yourself to move that energy. And maybe in that moment you will be releasing or feeling some resistance, and that's okay, that's beautiful. That's part of the process. And allow your body to feel, let's say, more openness in your chest. Okay, so maybe that means, maybe you're curved a lot in your upper body. Maybe you want to open, straighten your spine a little bit and just open your arms. And maybe you're just practicing this for 1 or 2 minutes each morning and just opening your arms, signaling receptivity. Maybe you're slowing your pace when you talk or when you walk because you're used to rushing. There's nowhere to rush. You can take your time. Maybe it's this sense of grounded confidence. Maybe it's the way in which you walk. Okay, there's these subtle ways that we do things in life through our bodies that signal either fear, closure, contraction, anxiety, that we can switch. These are subtle shifts. And slowly this starts to rewire our nervous system. Okay? And we're building that capacity to hold the desire. Because what often happens sometimes is the desire comes, and then if we don't feel worthy, or it's too much, so we're like a sieve, and we leak, or we push it away. Okay, so slowly we want to get accustomed to that feeling in our body every day. Another way that I want to invite us into embodying that desire is poetry in motion, either written, verbal, or it's dance. So you want to give desire a voice, whether actual words come out or just sounds or movement. So this is part of the embodiment piece and the artistic piece, the creative piece. Desire loves expression. So maybe you're free flow writing. You love to write. Go for it. Maybe you're more kinesthetic. You're like, I want to dance it. Just feel it. Da, 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 da. Maybe you're voicing it. You're sounding. Feel that kind of raw primal energy coming through. Maybe you have an instrument and you want to drum, or you just want to start tapping and you're just feeling into this rhythm within you, this pulse. Okay? Allow it to kind of be unfiltered, messy, and raw. Make sure it's authentic. Okay? Especially if your desire has been suppressed a while, give yourself space, give it time. It may not come this right like now. You might not know. You might be like, Sophia, I don't know what my desire. Give it time, give it space to create itself. And this is not about performance. It's about letting your inner world take shape outside of you. And it loves to take shape in the form of movement, sound, free flow writing, being in nature. I have two more I want to offer us here. Just the feel into bring your desires in everyday acts of devotion. Choose your desire in the smallest ways. This is devotional living. Devotion is where your desire becomes reality. And you can ask yourself each day, for example, what is one small way I can honor my desire today? Okay? So it can look like setting a boundary. Maybe for us, our desire is like, I desire more me time, like in this moment. And right now in this phase of my life, like I've been giving, so I desire more me time. Maybe it's setting a boundary. Maybe it's taking a step towards something that excites you. So maybe you've been a bit closed off and you've been kind of like saying no, or like now's not the time, or I don't have enough money. And now you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make that phone call. It's so simple. I'm going to send that email. I'm going to have that coffee chat, whatever it is. Okay, make it manageable for you. Make it so easy that it's an effortless yes, of course. Like this is the easiest thing. Again, we're building that momentum slowly. Again, maybe it's saying no to something that's misaligned. So sometimes for some of us, to really hone in on that authentic desire, we're going to have to release and say no to what's not aligned. For some, it's actually giving us the time and space for something that actually does light us up. Okay, so we need to honor that desire every day. So remembering that frequency, that feeling you're anchoring into. Maybe it's connection, maybe it's intimacy, maybe it's prosperity and wealth, but maybe you're spending your money all the time. So maybe there's a boundary that needs to be set. Can we see how much self-responsibilities is wanting to come through and asked of us when we're really walking this path of reclamation, of embodied leadership, of authentic living? And this is where a lot of people turn away. There's too much responsibility. I'm going to have to say no to that. I'm going to have to say yes to that. So again, meet yourself where you're at with honesty and with courage. Okay? And I want to end with just re-sharing the importance and the daily anchor of embodying it and living your desire now. So we're shifting from this longing, from this wishing, to living it. So instead of waiting on the world to change, we can ask ourselves simply, how can I embody even 1% of this life today? Of this desire today, of this frequency today. For example, if you desire freedom, again, you get to define what freedom is for you. Maybe it's about creating space in your day. And of course, choosing how you're going to utilize that time and that space. Maybe you desire more beauty. So maybe you're surrounding yourself with something that feels good, something that feels beautiful. Maybe it's walking for the sunrise or at the sunset. Maybe it's going out in nature. Maybe it's going to an art gallery. Maybe it's you putting on clothes that make you feel beautiful. Maybe you desire more connection. So maybe for you it's just simply showing up more openly in one conversation, because perhaps you realize that you're very defensive, you're always the devil's advocate, and you always have a yes but approach to things. Okay, these small moments build momentum, small daily anchors, and they tell your nervous system, this life isn't far away, it's not scary, and I'm already in a relationship with it. I'm building rapport with it. I'm making it familiar. So I want to end with sharing something that has been really big for me anyways on my journey that I'm still navigating through, and it's the following. Your desire doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be met. And in that process, we realize all the ways that we don't feel deserving of that desire. And inevitably, all the ways that we betray ourselves from actually bringing that desire in. Because as I mentioned, your desire is there for a reason. Your authentic desire is there for a reason. And it wants you back. But a lot of the times, it's trying to come in and we're blocking it unconsciously. What do I mean by the desire wants you to be met? Meet your desire. We need to realize where we're closed off or where we're leaking energy in places that are not in alignment. And meeting our desire is requiring a lot of trust. It's requiring openness. It's requiring receptivity. It's requiring us to lean back, to bring our energy back into our bodies, to listen deeply, to feel what wants to come through us, to give ourselves the nourishment that we need to build this vessel, this body, to hold that which we desire. That is what it means to mean it, to meet it. And oftentimes it comes in the quiet, small moments where we get to choose differently, that we meet our desires. It's when we get to show up each day with devotion to that desire, to live it, to breathe it, to embody it, and to trust that how and that when are showing up. That material object, the relationship, the house, right? That comes when you yourself have built the vessel for that desire to land. What does that mean? When you walk in wholeness, what does wholeness mean? Wholeness is cohesion. Wholeness is congruency. This vessel, this whole system is congruent. There's a channel of communication that is uninterrupted from my mind to my heart and my soul and my body. Everything is in alignment. There is no fear. There is no scarcity. There's no more longing. Because you're living it. All right. If you're still listening to this, it's probably because you are tuning into that part of you that knows you're here for more. And as we close this episode, this conversation, I want you to remember that your desire is not asking you to stay small in your life. It's quite the opposite. It's asking you to become the woman who can live fully inside of your desire. To claim it, to own it, to feel worthy of it. And every day you get to anchor into that energy through your prayers, through your movement, through your speech, through your embodiment. You are magnetizing the life your soul already knows is possible. So for those that love to journal, I'm going to leave a few journaling prompts in the description of this episode that you can contemplate on, you can walk with in nature, you can write about, you can chat about with your girlfriend or with your boyfriends or whatever. Just a way to get a little bit deeper into illuminating what that authentic desire can be for you. And for those that feel called to go deeper, and they want to be held in a container and guided to actually live in their desire, this is exactly why I created Rhythms of Remembrance, the spring portal, which is themed the Alchemy of Desire. This is a space where you get to deepen into this work. You get to listen to your body, to build a rapport with your body, to build a rapport with your desire, to start feeling into any resistance coming up. This is the alchemy part. And to feel this creative life force energy emerging and channel it into your life so that you start creating a reality that reflects this deeper, authentic desire that lives within you. That seed is within you. So what we need to do is build that environment, cultivate that environment inside and outside of you that will bring it to life. Okay, so that we're moving from a place of waiting, from a place of wishing or just longing, to a place of deep embodiment and living it. So if you feel called to journey, it's an intimate container. I'm calling in 13 women. It's going to be 8 weeks starting in April. Then I'll invite you to check out the registration page. Message me. You have a 30-minute clarity call that is free as part of this, so that you make sure, or we make sure, that this is the right fit for you. If any part of you is feeling pulled, I invite you to trust that. Okay, that's part of the practice here. Can you trust your body and your deep inner knowing and follow through? And of course, if this is not resonating and this is not for you, deep bow. Always grateful if you know somebody with whom this would resonate, that you share this message forward, this episode, or the link to the registration page for Rhythms of Remembrance. Thank you for being here. Deep bow to your own unfolding, to your own process, your own journeying, and I'll see you in the next episode.